Welcome to This Week in Jump, number 13.
I'm Turo.
And I'm Ryan. And this week, Jump is back. So we're going to be talking about my list this week.
Yep. We're done with Golden Week, so we're back at work. I hope you guys like the retro that we did on Dragon Ball Z. You can expect some of those coming in the future.
Probably around December, whenever Jump takes another break.
Yeah. Or if we find some time, maybe we can sneak another one or two in there. Who knows? But for now, we're going to start off with the bottom of this week.
Number 17, Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs, chapter 158. And this...
we start off really funny. Oh, not funny. Funny sad, not funny haha. We saw the Yuragian be teleported away, and everyone's safe.
Right.
But there was someone who was missing.
Namco.
So, yeah, Namco. So we see her and her brother
Shakuhito.
just driving.
Yep.
They're not, where could they be? Like, they're just in a car. So, like, it was anticlimactic.
Well, Namco
where they were.
pulled a Deus Ex Machina and had apparently booze stored somewhere, got her booze, got her armor back, and pulled him out from being obliterated. But Yuna was able to teleport them away before the obliteration happened from the Tenko. His name is Nadere, in case we forgot.
Mm-hmm.
And he's actually elated that he apparently could have actually flashed Sagiri and been the first male posterior that she had ever seen from her past. And I was like, really, you're gonna blush about that? Come on, man. And then he shows Nanko what her future is, and it's her
prostrating and being drunk.
Yeah, as a mangaka,
with only wearing a swimsuit bikini.
Yes, and she crushes his phone and says that she needs to get stronger. So I'm guessing that from this point on, she will be focused more on training rather than doing
manga.
Which I don't know how she really got into manga, but I guess we would find out. And then we flash back to the Yuragi Inn, and we have everybody hanging out there. But apparently we get a flashback of how Yuna was able to get out. So it turns out that Miria was hypnotized into poisoning all of them and turning them into reducing their life by a third. I was going to say children, but they're technically not children. They're like adolescent children. And then Nanko is a straight-up teenager. But I guess somehow she was able to get out when she learned that information, which was relayed by Miria's father, who was on the phone. And then we cut to the Tenko family world where Miria is, and she's getting praised for having done the deed. And we also see that the Tenko Nadare is relaying basically what happened at the inn, and that they're no longer basically going to be a threat, but these elder beings that are like encased in flame are telling him that no, he needs to make sure that they're wiped out, period, even if they're not able to get as strong as they were before. So he kind of like smirks at that. As head of the house, we look forward to your work. And he smirks.
He's finding enjoyment from this hunt. He's finding enjoyment of being all powerful over his enemies, in this case
the other families.
Yeah.
So he needs to hunt the Onis. So I'm guessing he might go after Nanko first and then try to find Yuna and Kogorashi's group.
And then won't they go after the dragons with Ouroboros as well? In the history, they're supposed to fight, but maybe they could advance that.
I don't know. So we also learned that in the inn there's a limited amount of food. She can't produce food, otherwise there's a side effect. Same thing with like everything else. That's why when they got teleported over, they weren't wearing what they were wearing prior to. Mm-hmm. And Kogarashi is still having a hard time controlling his spiritual powers. When he made a spiritual ball, he wound up getting in a very awkward situation. But Yuna has the idea of possessing him to power him up like she did in the past.
Yes, but she doesn't say like I did in the future. She just says, "Let me possess you." Like, you dumb ghost. It's literally, you know,
Triggers.
that's what he hates.
And he slams his fist down. I thought
Yeah.
you were one of the good ones.
Yeah, like you just want to possess me and take over my body.
And we see the flashback of what had happened in the flashback chapter with
Kogarashi.
getting possessed by the businessman who was a stockbroker,
Yeah.
the dog, the
Mannequin.
mannequin. Yeah, mannequin. We'll say it's mannequin.
Yeah.
It was a science thingy.
Yeah.
Atomic. Not atomic.
Anatomic.
Anatomic.
Mannequin.
Whatever. So he runs away, and they're going through the storage to try and find if there's anything there that they can use as a supplement to make Kogarashi stronger. He finds a spirit power training scroll.
It sounds like the perfect thing that they would need right now. But this is inside of,
The landlady's supplies, so
yeah.
it's gonna have a downside of some sort. Yuna obviously remembers all of the other hijinks that have happened before with the landlady. But we won't know because he opens it and the chapter ends on that.
Yep.
So.
Like the end of the previous chapters, like, oh, I want you to train me.
Yeah, I don't know why he wouldn't think that like a possession would be like a type of training, considering that when he was possessed by a martial artist, he gained the ability of the martial artist.
Yeah.
So if he was possessed by somebody who was already powerful, theoretically he would become more powerful himself. So why wouldn't he make that association?
Yeah. But instead of getting an actual training, an actual like montage and showing of that, we don't get any of that. We get one panel of like, oh, I think I get this, and then he messes up. Like, that's all we got. It was disappointing, to say the least.
Number 16. And this is where I'm pretty sure you're going to be like, this is why you were saying you were coming in hot? Is this why you're coming in hot?
This is why.
Why are you coming in hot? Number 16 is Hellwarden Haguma, Chapter 19.
Yeah.
I'll let you explain it since this is more of your favorite series, and I'll explain my reasoning afterwards.
Yes, I like this series a lot. From the character designs to where the story is progressing. Where Higuma wanted to talk with King Enma and wanted to talk about work,
Right.
being serious. They have, very logic sounding arguments and comments back and forth. But about work.
Mm-hmm.
But this is all happening, as Higuma's recovering, going over how he's working with his followers.
Yeah, his followers, his friends.
Yeah. Emma is still, the cause of all the Hell Wardens. Their bonds their bonds between other Hell Wardens, between life and death, and between demons. He takes that upon himself. It's not Higuma or anyone else's fault.
Right. I'm just trying to find what they're called. Yeah, Bushi something.
Yeah, but Higuma says that he wants to capture the old man and break the bond by doing so. The bond between Lord Edma and the Higuma.
The duty that they have.
The duty that they have. Wants to send back every fugitive spirit. Like, that's pretty crazy. But on this chapter, we get, Higuma's back to his normal self. We have we have two people that they look like the Hell Wardens that saved him. The Hell Wardens in white, with Roku. And these two people, they're Higuma's relatives.
Yep.
They're Sagara and Yukira. They're twins, and they're cousins, I believe.
They're the younger siblings of it. They explicitly say that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, and instead of Higuma, like, he has the hands.
They have mouths for their Zaiju.
They have mouths, which, like, oh, that wouldn't really be useful in combat. Like, oh yeah, they can bite stuff, they can breathe fire, they can spit out poison, and they can speak secrets.
Yep,
It's
relay
like-
information.
Yeah, like okay, I can see why
That would be useful.
that would be so useful. And some information that needs to be spilled is that Engetsu, Une Kasaki, and Akagane have teamed up together.
And their goal is
And their goal
to resurrect the old man completely.
capture him. They want to resurrect him. I can see them working together to resurrect him, and then Higuma just comes in and captures him. That's it. Like, yeah, you throw the bait out there, and then you yank it on back. I can see Higuma. That's counter to what he wants to do. He doesn't want to see the resurrection of the old man, and see all the chaos that comes out from that.
Yeah, even with just the fugitive spirits that have already escaped.
Yeah, like Akagane and
Akagane's-
Getsu.
Mhm.
It looks like they've put at least their differences aside, personal differences aside, to work together.
But it's mostly because Akagane just wants to fight the Hell Warden, so he's willing to let Engetsu do what he wants,
Yeah,
and then just kind of be there in the background as a support role, but not really care if Engetsu dies one way or another.
yeah. And Higuma wants to, get the old man, and his friend wants to join in, and so does his other follower,
Ayaha.
Ayaha. Like, oh yeah, and the the family members also want to help, and you see a nice picture of all of them in their battle garb, just ready to go out into the world, seeing how they're going to do this.
We have work to do. And then
We have Hellward and Higuma. The end. I was so disheartened to see this just go. I'm so sad. Yeah,
it gets a special epilogue chapter, which is more than I can say for Neolation.
yes, but
That's not going to be enough.
no, I'm sad. I'm so sad. Like, I love their character designs. I love them. I like the story. I like how tragic it was. You could say it's you could say it has a lot of the tropes in there where the main hero like falls down, then gets back up, tragic family backstory.
Avenging the father that died, killing the person who killed the father.
Yeah, but adding the aunt in there as kind of
Little
like
twist.
the betrayer in that case, but not actually doing so,
Mhm.
not being able to see the manipulation,
Yes.
and Getsu coming out of nowhere to fight him. Like, oh yeah, he's supposed to come back in like 20 or 30 years once I have a kid who's 10.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's before me right now. I like literally like panic. Like, I know I might just die today. It was forced into. I'm sure it was forced into some of those plot points, but I was happy with the story. I liked it. I genuinely enjoyed most, if not all, the chapters that came out for it. But I'm really sorry to see it go.
I think what happened with Hellborn Haguma is that the votes for it were cannibalized by other series that are doing or fighting against similar type of enemies. That's kind of where Jump has been for like a little bit, because you have Demon Slayer, which has demons. You have Jujutsu Kaisen, which has curses. Fugitive Spirits. Chainsaw Man has devils.
Promised Neverland.
Promised Neverland has demons. A lot of them have like. I mean, Promised Neverland isn't like 100% battle manga. It's more of like non-battle battle manga or something like that.
Sounds dumb.
It does sound dumb, but it's like Death Note, where it's a battle of the mind.
Okay.
And that's why it's like so good. That's why I like Promised Neverland a whole lot, is because there's fighting in it. Death Note had a little bit of fighting in it, but it's mostly like mental stuff.
When Hellwarden Higuma first appeared for us, I think we said that, like, oh yeah, it has a lot of series we've had this conversation before.
Yes,
where a lot of
yes,
them
we
have similar
themes and similar
themes.
enemy types.
So if they were going to, I don't think we said this at the time, but if they're going to succeed, they need to do something that puts them apart. Which I thought they did. I thought they had potential to make cool figurines, cool
no,
cool
like the
characters and
merchandise
stuff like that.
would definitely be there.
And I thought its story held enough ground to make it its own.
I think,
But I guess not.
yeah, well, and I think it's the same thing with Neolation.
Yeah.
Although I felt more in Neolation's flashbacks than I did in Hellwarden's flashbacks.
Yes.
But I feel like the flashbacks were probably put there because there was no way to give context to what was going to happen. It was probably going to be like sprinkled in to the series, but because they were told, hey, you only have a few more issues and then you're done, they probably just sped it up and put it out there where he had like a full-on flashback, and it dragged down the pace of the fight. I was trying to give it context.
Definitely.
But I think if it was more streamlined, it could have worked a little bit better. It felt like it was kind of getting on to how Bleach Ichigo fought the Hollow that killed his mom.
Oh, yeah. And then we had that whole bit, which is her...
Yeah, but they didn't spend as much time.
No, they didn't.
So I think that's where it may have like had its downfall.
Well,
I still like the art style, and I would have kept reading it, obviously.
Hellwarden, it's very sad. Very sad to see you go. I will read the special epilogue.
I will read it. We'll put it in here as well.
We'll put it in here as well.
Unless it doesn't get published for whatever reason, but I hope it does.
I hope it does. Alrighty. Next up.
Yeah, I had a feeling that's what you were gonna. Strong feelings, yeah. Number 15, Yui Kamio Lets Loose. This one was actually pretty good as far as that series goes.
I would say so. I'd put this as number 5 for me.
You like the comedy ones a little bit more than me, though.
Yes.
So, we have our protagonist, Kito, who's riding the train. But he's riding the train because his horoscope said that it would be good for him to ride the train.
Yeah, Kito, he's smart, but still has the superstitious side of him that believes in horoscopes. Like, okay. But when it's true, it's kind of hard to refute that, because he finds...
As soon as he gets off the train.
He sees White Yui slapping a man who has a surgical mask on his face, who is most of the time used to protect other people from airborne illnesses. It doesn't really do that in real life for the most part, but unless it's very, very specific illnesses, but whatever. It's a misconception.
I've also heard that it's to keep the sick... Like, if they're sick, to keep you from getting sick.
Yeah, it stops it from other people getting sick. You're already sick. You can't do anything about that.
Yeah. It's meant more for... I don't know. I guess it's a
decency.
Asian... It's a like, East Asian thing. Like, they do that in Japan, China.
In China, yeah.
Stuff like that. So, yeah, she beats this guy because he was going to kill himself. Because he felt like there was the only way to redeem himself. And she basically prostrates him and tells him that he needs to not be doing that. Kito immediately is like, "You're not Yui in white, are you?"
Yeah, she's all
How
shocked.
could you tell? How did you know? And it's fairly obvious because of the way she was acting.
Yeah.
But she's just wearing the wig that Kito was wearing from the sports...
Oh, yeah.
Fitness Day, sorry.
I was wondering where she would get a wig from. Like, that makes sense.
And that's a nice little continuity of keeping that as a reference. But apparently it's because Ebi lost the chains to keep her sealed and in white Yui form.
Yeah, and black Yui just, yeah, you don't have any of these. Like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Like, oh yeah, can you do me a favor? Just pretend to be white Yui. Like, what do you mean? Like, I am Yui.
Not you, Yui. Her Yui.
Yeah. Just be normal. Just act like white Yui. Like, don't you like me for me? Like, you're my friend, right? You like me no matter what? Like, of course I do, but we got a reputation to hold up. So put on the wig.
And as such, Kito looks for his chains because he was given the spares, and he does not have them either. They seem to have been misplaced or stolen.
Yeah.
But Yui and Black, being white Yui, has to lower her uniform and have it rather low cut.
Because it's not hers.
No.
And we add some continuity to how she transforms, why she gets the black uniform. If it's not her own, it doesn't change. That's why last chapter with Kito's
Or she
sports
was
jacket, or his workout jacket, it didn't change.
I think they can't change it if it's already on them. If because she put on the clothes when she was already in Black Yui form, so it wouldn't change because it's not changing from white to black.
Right.
Now, if she were to wake up as Yui in white, would her outfit change to black?
Huh. Or would it just be more white?
Or would it just be how much whiter can you get on white?
Yeah.
Like it'd be
well, like
glowing at that point.
any other points of colors would turn
change.
white. Maybe.
Don't know.
But we
Speculation.
We get a little continuity right there, so that's nice. Yui's not doing so hot.
She can't
read. Sitting in class. Yeah, apparently she can't read because Yui in white has taken the forefront in the most parts of school, and it's only in extracurricular activities is when she breaks out.
Mm-hmm. As such, she basically stopped going to school in like 6th grade.
Yeah.
Or sorry, 5th grade. It's 5th grade.
There's not much difference there.
No, it's not. So they wind up getting a kick out of it and thinking that she's just pulling a prank on the teacher for always calling on her. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then there's a battle for the last bit of food of a particular type. The what do they call them? The bean? I wrote it down. I can't remember what I called it. What's that food called?
Bean buns?
Bean buns? The bean buns.
Bean buns right there.
Tiny
little font.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, the translation
Zoom,
notes.
enhance. Zoom, enhance.
I can't! But she didn't have to fight over the food and steal it from the other people. Kito had already prepared bentos for them.
Yeah. Not just for him and Yui, but also one for Ebi. He's not a complete jerk. There's 3 there.
Mm-hmm. Yui overhears that some people are going to be playing a game. It's just cards. And yet again, Kito keeps saying, "Don't do it!"
Yeah. Like she jumped on top of the table to get their attention.
In a rather unflattering angle.
Yeah.
Not ladylike angle.
Yeah. And Kito is getting on Yui's nerves. And she's getting a little frustrated with him.
Why would you let me be myself?
Yeah. And
Kabam!
kicks him.
Annoyed, walking home with some friends, they come across a delinquent with a weird-looking mask on his face.
Yeah, but he's speaking to them fairly nicely, for the most part.
Yeah, but the font indicates that he's talking like in a very creepy tone.
Yeah, he's speaking very matter-of-factly, and just cracking jokes, and he's genuinely asking them if they want to spend some time and have some fun with them. Yui, because she's mad, is about to snap and just put these guys into the ground.
Kito interjects.
Yeah, you can't do that in front of your friends.
Can't show them that you have a super athletic ability.
Yeah, because when Yui in white comes back, your friends are going to be terrified of you, or they're going to expect that of her, which she can't do all the time.
Correct. So after Kito grabs the leader, the henchmen behind him pull out a knife, but Yui, pretty much without missing a beat after Kito is clearly at a disadvantage, knocks this guy into a wall. And that's the end of that.
Yeah, like, to get out her frustration, she takes it out on them, and you could hear the punching and all the other fighting sounds, because they don't even want to show us.
It looks like his head exploded.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure
to the other team, they don't even show that. And she's just like, I feel so much better after literally releasing all of her rage and frustration.
And she says that now you were a real man back there. And she takes off the wig, and they're just walking together. And we kind of see who took the chains.
Yeah.
We just see their hands, and it said, finally, they found her.
It's hard to tell, because the black and they look like they have gloved hands. At first I was thinking biker, but now I'm thinking shaman. That these are other shaman that are there.
Oh, from like the first chapter?
Yeah.
Like the beginning of it?
That are trying to figure
Seal
out
her.
Yui. But if they wanted to seal her, they would just they wouldn't steal the chains. They wouldn't want to have her in black form. They would want
So why would they want her in black form?
whenever
To
you
beat her at her strongest?
whenever you have shaman and religious people, counter to that are religious fanatics and cultists.
The crazy factors.
I hope that's the case because it would be neat to see some antagonists in this comedy. Also, Kito changes clothes again, and so did Yui because she was borrowing clothes.
Yeah.
The clothes keep changing because they're actual people. I love it.
Continuing on, we have number 14, We Never Learn, chapter 110. Picking up where Naruyuki had just put Asumi.
Awesome.
I don't know why I felt like that's wrong. I know that's not wrong. Put her on the examining bed. He's doing this because as a child, that's where she wanted to rest and wanted to sleep instead of going to her own bed, and that's like the source of like part of her memories. Like it was always positive for her.
Yeah.
And she notices that he's a little too close to her face.
Yeah, like why are you like this? Your face looks weird. Are you okay?
He actually threw out his back.
Yeah.
He went from total Chad
to
Anyway, so she gives him a hug, but it's actually to crack his back, and throws him down and fixes him.
Yeah, like, it hurts. What'd you do to me? And like, oh, I can move.
Apparently, there was a person who had a bad back that she saw her dad do something similar to, so it only makes sense. And then we have a literal depiction of a baton being passed. Well, what she wanted was the baton being passed from her father to her,
Yeah.
and taking over the role of helping patients.
But like, that was her dream.
Yes.
And dreams change for the better and for worse.
And then we have the flashback of Naruyuki having the conversation with her mother, and she says the exact same thing. Like, why did you go overseas instead of staying here at the clinic? Oh, it was because I had patients elsewhere that needed my help, so I felt obligated to go over there and help them. And that's something that Asumi had never heard, that her mom basically was doing it for the same reason that she wanted to do it,
Yeah.
coincidentally.
And then Naruyuki,
Shows an image.
yeah, on his camera that he took secretly of the play doctor with the fake patients.
Mm-hmm. For diagnoses.
And everyone there is just full of smiles. Even the person whose head is cut off and it's just his mouth, it's smiling. It was kind of creepy because because
Pac-Man.
the blushing two lines kind of look like little eyes, and it's a really funny face. But it was really really nice and just kind of cute. We're like, oh, why were you taking pictures like this, huh?
And he said that he recognized these smiles because they're similar to the ones that she drew on the childhood picture. Because Naruyuki, being a total boss, apparently somehow went and got the picture out from being in the rain.
I don't know
when he
had time to do this.
Because if we remember, it was raining, and then they instantly teleported underneath the playscape. And I guess after that, he went there and got it?
Which would be really, really lucky if
it was still there.
If it was still there. It's made out of paper. Like, it's
shouldn't
disintegrated.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like it was raining kind of hard.
Yes.
With how quickly they got drenched. Should have poked holes in it. Who knows?
That's some strong paper.
Yeah.
Anyway, and as such, he tells her, even if this clinic closes, it's not the end of the world or your dream, and that she'll be able to take that with her wherever, the smiles and everything, because that's basically what she did when she was playing as a pretend doctor. She wasn't at the clinic when she was smiling. She was literally anywhere.
Yeah, and then as long as you're there, that'll be the new clinic.
Kami-nami.
Yeah, and like, oh, sorry for being so, like, yelling so much and forward on that. And he looks up,
and
she's just crying. She can't stop it. It's just free flowing.
And apparently her father and mother were listening on that conversation.
Yeah.
And so he pats her head.
Yeah, and like, don't stop petting. Don't look at me, but don't stop petting.
She puts up a notice of closure, We're terribly sorry for the inconvenience. Her dad appears out of nowhere.
Yeah, with a Sharpie.
Marks it out, already ready.
Yeah.
New hours. They're just going to be open on the weekends because apparently this is the only hospital I've ever heard of that's closed on the weekends.
My hospital, growing up, did not have weekend hours.
So what do they do with the people that are like in ER?
We had clinics.
They would send the ER people to the clinics?
No, for ER, they would bring other people in from like clinics to work on that, but it would be clinic clients, employees, not from the hospital.
Got it.
But yeah,
he also says that God, what's wrong with me? Goes on to say that if it's just for the weekends, he has the energy to do that, and that he doesn't want to leave his patients out and unable to seek medical treatment.
Yeah.
Valid point. Also, it makes sense because he'd probably only get business during those hours, and he'd be able to save on electricity by not operating during the days that the hospital's open. Makes sense.
Less upkeep.
Correct.
Like, oh, okay, well, this...
Obviously, this means that he was listening, and she gives him a hard time.
Yeah.
But Asumi decides to reward Naruyuki by actually giving him a kiss on the cheek.
Oh.
And the chapter closes.
And he thought it was going to be, teasing again, but when he actually get it, he blushing it all get out.
If you zoom in, you can see it. It's like super faint. I thought it was a smudge. And then I started moving it, and I'm like, oh wait, that's not a smudge. That's actually a...
Yeah. But it's nice. It's nice.
It's a nice end.
I put it a little bit higher because I thought it was nice.
It was heartwarming. Next on the list is number 13, Haikyuu, Chapter 348.
Okay. You have now hit my entire list. Everything that was down there except for one, which Yui Kumio probably swapped with me.
Oh, so your list is also, like, most of these very...
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. I don't have a whole lot to say about this. It's mostly just the game happening.
Which is good. It was very easy to read. It was very easy to follow.
It's a lot of serves. And we can see the frustration growing on both sides.
Yeah. Because where they thought they were strong before, they're showing some weakness. And where they swapped over for their strengths, they're seeing some more returns. So it's a little more back and forth.
Everyone's getting fired up because Hinata's...
He's a showman. He's showcasing how excited he is whenever he gets to hit the ball and score. I think that's really turning the audience onto Karasuno's side.
Yeah, getting him psyched.
Yeah.
And Korai is just ridiculous, I think, with his spikes, because he is able just to hit the tips of their fingers and get those points. Because he just hits it in an angle where they can't even recover and get it. And it's actually annoying the other two. Basically, he's the Hinata of that team. He's just frustrating Suki and all of the other blockers. Because I think that's the second point he's earned off of Suki in this match. Or out of the two sets. That's more than second time that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
So you have like the three key players who have like awkward serves, consisting of Korai,
Suma,
Hirugami, the wall guy,
and Sua.
All of them apparently have serves that are hard to recover from, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and like get the ball back in motion.
Yeah.
And eventually, we get to the point when they're now determined to stop the ace.
Yeah.
Asahi. The man bun.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's pretty much going to be the case. And they're also... The last little blurb is like, do not let Shoyu do his job.
Yeah.
Which is to basically get around the blockers and go use the court's length to their advantage.
Yeah.
because now they're pretty much privy to their tactics. It's
Yeah,
either going to be
go to where the
Asahi or
gap is.
Hinata. And that was pretty much most of the chapter. You can see their physical. It's mostly just a physical chapter. It's just this happens, and then their facial reaction.
They go a little technical with explaining the shade. That was nice because they're still teaching us.
There's still some
of plays.
things, yeah, that I'm not gonna learn like everything about volleyball from reading.
Yeah.
But you could pick up on a lot of it. Like you could pick up and play volleyball right now.
Well, if we wanted to, we could go play with Josh. He plays that quite often.
Yeah, but he's like 6'5".
You're just as tall. He might be a little bit taller. I don't know.
He's 5 inches taller. He has
Is he?
reach. Yeah.
Okay.
So that'll do it for part 1. Part 2 coming soon.